All right.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're feeling like Joe Spinell looks in this movie.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only defining characteristic of Joe Spinell is that he's sweaty.
I actually I read a review on Letterboxd where somebody goes described him as glowing, and then in parentheses it goes, because Joe Spinell doesn't sweat, he glows.
No. Yeah. Well, you can tell that he's probably like a few weeks pregnant at this point, and so he's really got that motherly glow about him.
I was wondering when I was watching that if they're just there with spray bottles to make him look sweaty, or he just naturally is that sweaty.
I mean, that's what he looks like in every movie he's in. So.
That's true. That is very true.
I genuinely don't think that there's another actor who looks as fucking insane as that guy could pull off.
He just like one of my notes is I wish that I could go back in time just to hang out with Joe Spinell outside of movies.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, he was really cool and he was super charming and shit. But I don't fucking get that from any of his movies. Any of the roles he's been in, I'm like, that dude's a psycho. Even like the cameo shit and like whatever he was in, I was like, that dude's crazy.
Yeah. It's him and the guy in the subway in Ghost. Or just the two like gross New Yorkers.
Yeah.
They're just playing chess or some shit.
Yeah.
What a movie.
Yeah.
I got to the end of it, and I was like, I kind of was paying attention, not paying attention, and because it's a watch.
It's a watch.
And so then I look up, and I had only looked away for a couple seconds, and I'm like, Dracula? Like, yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, hold on. Like, this whole setup you've got going here slaps.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
Like, I was like, I actually really want to see Joe Spinell as Dracula.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of works for me.
Yeah, he might be in my top 10 Dracula.
Also,
by now.
So I was watching that movie, and I was like, right, he's making a horror movie. Never once did I go, oh, he's making a Dracula movie, though.
Right.
Like, what? Like, what about the rest of these murders is Dracula?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that was ever disclosed.
No. So,
and also just the idea of him getting all those props for that shot, like he got a sick coffin out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
candelabra. He's got the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
That place was hooked up.
Yeah,
and I like that he set it all. He did all that set deck in like a couple hours.
Right. Yeah. While she's passed out on chloroform.
And that was for me, that was a very fun movie. Like, I was out loud laughing at a lot of those. Well, especially there was the one scene, I know I sent it to you, Paz, and James, since I saw you had logged it, I sent it to you as well. But I mean, it's a really intense scene where he's got the broken glass bottle up to her throat, and the monologue that he has, which I wrote down, and I won't say it. But
Derek, I will say, I don't think that there's a side of your face that's a bad side.
yeah. And then, but just the distraction of the doorbell, just what's going on? Who's there? Such an awesome. That shit was so awesome.
So out of nowhere.
Yeah.
My favorite part, hands down, of the whole movie is when he's Dracula.
Yeah.
And so hold on, before I actually get into that.
Right.
So he was the killer, right? Or was it the other guy who was doing the killing?
No, he wasn't the killer.
He wasn't the killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only person he kills is at the end with the chainsaw.
Right.
Okay.
So
which was
I love that. That's fun.
Which was Janet Bates' husband, her ex-husband.
Right. So my favorite scene in the movie is when he takes his Dracula cape, whirls it around to block him, and then runs the fuck away. Leaves her.
He tells her to run.
He tells her to run, and then he just
run,
bounces.
Jenna.
Yeah, he bounces. He's out of there. and then he's hiding behind a car while she gets kidnapped and held at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And then he follows it up with decapitating him with a chainsaw.
Well, first he blinds him with a motorcycle headlight.
Yeah, blinds him.
It's important.
Yeah,
That's an important part. Yeah.
But then random chainsaw fight.
Very random chainsaw. I guess it was just in the shed.
Yeah, where do you get a random chainsaw?
Yeah.
Where do you get that?
Well, that's what you used to work on motorcycles.
Yeah.
Very true.
But I love the just like in Maniac, where there was several shots where he didn't get permits for. Like we've always talked about the Tom Savini blowing his head off in the middle of New York City, no permits. Most of this movie is shot at the Cannes Film Festival.
The whole fucking thing, yeah.
No permission, no permits. Like you see actual stars.
Chris Christopherson was like, wait a minute.
No one knew they were making a movie.
That's right.
They just all there's cameras everywhere, so they just assumed there was publicity. Another reporter. Meanwhile, Joe Spinell's holding a camera.
That's awesome.
Other actors who were there had to have been like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Well, like that scene when Carolyn Monroe runs out of the hotel with the towel on.
Yeah,
and someone says, "Oh, look, a publicity stunt." Like, people actually thought it was a publicity stunt. That she was promoting some movie. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. What's also really cool is the fact that like she was huge.
Yeah.
She was a big fucking name at that point. I mean, before that.
Yeah.
And the fact that like she's down to do that is so awesome, because not many actors would bother to do that.
Well, because she was in the original Maniac, right?
Yeah. And she was in a bunch of Hammer horror and before all this.
From what I'd understood, she was weird about stuff in the first Maniac, and then in this one, she's like, "I'll run down a France street, fucking in a towel, fuck it, whatever." So that's really interesting that she was like, "Oh, you know what? Fuck it."
Yeah.
Well, I think from what I could gather, I think the whole cast was like, "Whatever, fuck it." Like they. I read that during the shoot they had ran out of funds and the whole crew fled to Switzerland, skipping out on a $40,000 bill at the Ritz-Carlton.
Wow! Holy shit!
Yeah,
I wonder what happened there.
I don't know, but I mean, it's obviously
didn't want to pay the bill.
It's obviously a crazy production where like you're just not getting permits and just saying fuck it and skipping out on $40,000.
Well, I wonder, because like it's Troma, like their name is at the beginning.
Yeah, but that just means that they put it out recently. Yeah,
I think it was. It was that.
Yeah, they probably acquired the rights at some point.
That's the main thing that they started doing after a while, was they just bought the rights to a lot of these old weird movies and put it out.
I think they still own it actually.
Yeah,
Troma still owns it. Yeah,
right. Yeah, because the version I was watching was on Tubi.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I know they were considering it a partially lost film because a lot of the gore was actually cut out.
Oh wow!
At some point, and then it was just Paz. You'll know is it Severin that put out so Severin kind of they found all the missing pieces from the negatives at some like French archive, I think it was, and they're the ones that put out the last year they put out the Blu-ray and 4K.
Oh, okay.
It was a weird thing too, because Troma still owns it.
Mm-hmm.
They were only allowed to sell it for a certain amount of, like a short amount of time. So like you couldn't. Like now you can't go and buy it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But like, it was during a sale, like we have X amount of pieces and
is it a different version that's up on Tubi?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder.
That'd be interesting, because I would really like to see this film in that version.
Yeah,
if that's different.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Because it feels like there's not that much gore in it as it stands. So if there's less, then that sucks. And if there's more, then I want to see it.
A couple of the decapitations and there's not anything too gore. But I think that's specifically what was cut out. I don't know how much of it was. because this debuted at a festival in Spain in 1982, and then it kind of disappeared. Like I couldn't get confirmation if it did have a theatrical release in the US or not, or if it was, I think it was either super limited or none at all. I couldn't really get a full confirmation on it. But then it was just like weird home videos that people had of it. And then just Severin Films, or Severin, whatever they're Severin Films.
Yeah, Severin.
Yeah. Yeah, they pieced it all back together. And that's what I was wondering, and Paz, maybe you have the answer to this. At what point was it deemed Maniac 2? Like I know it's unofficial.
I think it's never been Maniac 2, but it's just like a spiritual sequel.
Yeah. Right.
If you want to see Joe Spinell be this character more, there you go.
Yeah. Even the when Severin put it out, like the artwork on the cover, the slip cover, they made it look like it says Maniac 2 on it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not, it's definitely unofficial.
Right.
Yeah. There's that line where one of the women goes, "There's a maniac running around," and I was like, "Yeah, there it is, there it is."
Also, they did that in Psycho 2, also, where he's like, "You're a psycho, you psycho," and I was like, "Yeah."
Isn't that a Family Guy joke? You remember the Family Guy scene of that? Peter Griffin talking about when the movie says the name of its movie.
Oh yeah.
And you see him in the theater. He goes, "Ah!" He just points it out.
That line when Norman is like, "I don't kill people anymore." I would just be like, "Yeah, okay, Norman." You fucking dick.
Norman Bates, what an asshole.
Yeah. What a wild set of movies.
Yeah, I was curious. I was anxiously waiting for you guys to log them on Letterboxd, and I was really shocked by Justin's log.
Honestly, I'm surprised too. Two is low for that.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Totally different episode, but speaking of waiting for us to log stuff on Letterboxd, I saw that Josh logged his review of TC or a Texas Chainsaw, the 3D one, and his review said something like, "Oops, I watched this again and I think I like it now." And I just I can't wait till Tuesday so we can yell at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I felt like, now I will say that when it came to Psycho 2, once I got through it, I appreciated the attempt to tell a story. I mean, the story was really interesting, that here are two people that are, former victims, or, well, not former victims, they are victims of his, and they don't want to see him get free, so they concoct this whole scheme in order to make him go crazy and fuck up. And
I think that's genius.
That was a very good approach to tell a Psycho 2 story.
It's also like, what would the sequel to Psycho even be?
That's where I'm like, like, you don't cure crazy,
right?
But it's also, I can understand that it's 1980. It's 19. Was that 1980 or 1982?
But by the end of the movie, they clearly haven't cured.
No, they
clearly haven't cured crazy.
Well, they drove him back to.
They
drove him back. That was their intent.
Was he? I think he was always there.
Yeah.
Right.
But
he just hadn't had any pretty girls to look at to really trigger it for a while.
Yeah. But somebody said on Letterboxd, like, take the traumatized person and put them right back in the traumatized environment. That'll do loads of help.
That was the one problem I had with the movie, and I was just like, well, I mean, they had to find a way to bring him back to that. Yeah. You can't not have him at the Bates Hotel
and
Bates house.
It still looks just as awesome.
It killer. And
they showed a lot more of it, obviously.
Yeah, right. That's what I was about to say. Is like you get to see, I loved getting to see more of that house and spending more time inside that house.
Definitely.
Well, also they had no photographs or footage of that house in color. So they had to kind of reimagine it. And I saw something about the art director of the original visited the set and was like, you guys nailed it. Like this.
Oh, that's awesome.
These are the colors.
That's crazy.
But yeah, to go, I mean, I really, really liked this movie a lot, and I was shocked. And again, this was kind of the idea of the episode that Paz came up with, right? It was these sequels that are good that shouldn't be, or that you wouldn't expect them to be. And from what I could gather, is just, in my opinion, very underrated sequel. Like one you don't hear about a lot.
Yeah, you never hear about this.
I've always heard, because there's a sequel to the remake, right?
No.
I think there is.
I think there is. Isn't it a girl?
The Vince Vaughn one?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Is there not?
No.
Okay, then maybe it is this one that I've always heard of.
I think there is, but it's a girl.
I think there is.
I don't know.
I think it's like a direct-to-video type thing that we didn't really watch.
Which I haven't seen the Vince Vaughn one. Isn't it exactly a replica of the original, just shot for shot?
From what I remember, yes.
Kind of, but it doesn't look. It doesn't have the same like look and feel of it at all, because it's just
fucking Vince Vaughn.
It's not only Vince Vaughn is honestly the okay part of it. It's what's her? I can't remember her fucking name.
Julianne Moore.
No.
Anne Heche.
Yes, Anne Heche.
Yeah, but she's only in it for a little bit.
Right.
Vigo is in this?
Yeah, dude, everybody's in it. It's fucking weird. It's a weird movie.
Yeah. Let's see. There was a Bates Motel TV movie in 1987.
Yeah.
There's Psycho 3 and Psycho 4, but I don't see anything as far as a sequel to the remake.
Maybe it was this one that they were always talking about, because I've always heard of Psycho 2, and they've always talked about it in like high regard, but I just never saw it.
It was this one then.
Okay.
Because I think it always ends up in being discussed. I think it's in the In Search of Darkness, one of the versions of or one of the that. But yeah, I always see it in people's like underrated favorite film lists and stuff like that. Which so but two questions. So, and I asked James this right before we started, and I think we're correct. So even though the mom and the daughter were running that scheme, he was still the one who killed the hotel guy, and then the teenage kid, and then the mom. Who killed them then?
What movies did you watch?
What? That makes no sense then. Who killed them?
Was it the old lady mom?
Yeah.
The lady that worked at the diner that he was working at, that showed up, that he killed with the shovel.
Yeah.
She was running around killing people in his house. That's what I found so interesting about the movie, was people were constantly in it. So I mean, it's a slasher with a true mystery that you're constantly trying to figure out, because you don't know if he is crazy or if he isn't, or if he's in on it. He knows he's being fucked with.
See, I love all that. Yeah, that's great. It's and I was okay with her showing up at the last point and being like, "I'm your mom," but then implying that she was able to kill Toomey is a lot.
Yeah, sure. I was thinking that too. Like,
not only kill, but also dispose of his body.
Right.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's the dude from NYPD.
I kind of, I can't think of his name, but
who's such a perfect sleazeball.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He's such a good
100%. So good. Yeah. He's never been anything more than that character, and he knows it. But I kind of liked it more before they introduced her, and it was just, he just fucking miraculously got away with all this shit. And then it just credits roll, and you're like, wait, what? I don't know. That would have been, I feel like the real mom coming in undercuts it.
Yeah, I just didn't I think I was probably so thrown off that, like, what? That's his mom? And she happened to be working at the same diner that he got a job at?
Well, I think also, and I don't know if Paz, you have an answer to this. I don't know if that's technically true that she's his mom.
Yeah, I think they just left it open like that. Like,
right.
They didn't clarify any of it.
Yeah, like maybe she's just a crazy person as well.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I heard from Richard Franklin. He's the director, right? Richard Franklin and
I think so.
Tom Holland, who wrote it. They were saying that
trips me up, Tom Holland, because that's not the Tom Holland that I know.
Yeah, well,
the Tom Holland I know is Spider-Man.
yeah, right. They were saying that in the original, they said, "Oh, well, the way that the mom was portrayed seemed to be way too old to be his mom."
That too,
because he's a young man, right, in that movie, and she seems to be a really old lady. Oh. And he was like, "That just So they kind of played with that a little bit, and well, maybe she isn't his mom.
Okay,
that's okay. That's an interesting take. I can now understand where they pulled that idea from. And made that leap.
That makes sense.
Well, I think it's also just it's in my opinion, it's very Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a true mystery. It's constant. You're just wondering what the fuck's going on.
Well, and there's so many lies like flying around the entire movie that it makes sense that by the end of it, you're like, I don't even know if this is real or not.
Right?
Like, is she actually his mom? Who knows?
Yeah. Right. You are. It does place the viewer in the same confused state as Norman.
Yeah. I think it did that really, really well, because the whole movie I was like, what is going on? Like, not in a like, I don't know what's going on, but like, who's
the mystery
actually on my side?
Yeah. Right.
Also, I think why I like it, why it works, it feels more like it doesn't feel like a cheap sequel, like a sequel just to capitalize off of Psycho. Because you mentioned Tom Holland, like he's written legit like he wrote Fright Night. I think he had part with I think he wrote also Child's Play, the first Child's Play.
Yeah, Child's Play.
And Richard Franklin has made a few awesome movies like Road Games.
Oh, okay.
Which was also a Hitchcock. He did. I know he did a Hitchcock a remake of some sort. I don't know if that was it. Yeah,
but Road Games has Jamie Lee Curtis takes place in Australia. It's an awesome movie, but it feels like they actually wanted to make a good movie, not just
and you can tell just from the story of it. Like there's no way that they were like, oh, let's do a cash grab. They maybe the studio was like, let's do a cash grab, but the people that made this movie were clearly like, let's make a fucking interesting, psychological, fucked up thriller.
The studio intended for this to be a made-for-TV movie, and Richard Franklin and Tom Holland were like, we have to get Anthony Perkins back, because if we cast him back, they will make this a feature film. And sure enough, that's what happened.
And he's absolute. I mean, obviously, but he's the
he's
reason that it works so good. It's so like
he's awesome.
He nails the like. If he's innocent, he's nailing that,
right?
And if he's not innocent, he's also nailing that.
Well, you truly sympathize for him, right? Like which is crazy. Like he's the hero of the story, which 100%. Is wild. But I saw something about, first to go back, Tom Holland was saying, he specifically in a documentary that was a fan made documentary on YouTube about the movie, and he was interviewed in it. And he's like, this was like, we didn't want to make a sequel just because it was a successful Hitchcock film. It was because there was more story to be told about Norman Bates. Like there was just a story there to tell. But then when they actually cast Perkins, and he didn't get any back end points in the movie, and it ended up doing like over like 90 million or something. It grossed over 90 million.
Jeez.
And he was suing Universal, and one of the execs called him and was like, if you don't drop this suit, you're never going to work in Hollywood again. And apparently he laughed at them and was like, yeah, until you need me again for another Psycho movie. And sure enough, 3 years later, they call him to do Psycho 3. And his demand was as long as I direct it. And that's what they gave him.
That's amazing. That's so good.
All right. Now I immediately want to go watch Psycho 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't either. And Paz, have you seen the third one?
Yeah, I've seen the 3 and 4, and they're not as good. I mean, it kind of stops at 2.
Yeah.
But they're fun. They're worth watching. But I think like 2 is a good sequel. I mean, it's obviously it's not better than the original, but it's good. 3 and 4 are a significant drop.
What I would say.
Oh, go ahead.
What I was just gonna say, like what I love about 3, the cover to 3 always scared the absolute fuck out of me as a kid walking around the video store, just because it's like you're creepy, dude. So I now want to know what the story of 3 is, because with looking at the poster, there's a drastic difference between the poster for 2 and 3.
He just becomes a real estate agent.
Trying to make it
right.
The movies just get progressively more normal. Like this, like 2, he's genuinely innocent. 3, he's now got a paying job. 4, he's mayor. He's the mayor of the town.
He's the mayor.
running a bunch of Airbnbs.
Oh no, that's the modern remake.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, apparently they, after the first one, I think it was in 1962, they tore down the hotel and they rebuilt it for this, which is now still in the back lot of Universal, but they had to rebuild it. So I saw 2 different sources, one saying the house, one saying the hotel, but I think it was the hotel. I'm pretty sure the house was always there.
I think it was the hotel. Yeah, I don't think they fucked with the house.
I think so. But
pretty
they
sure
did a great job
I'm pretty sure they would have all died if they fucked with the house, because that thing's definitely cursed.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also saw that Perkins was reluctant at first, that he wasn't sure if he wanted the role, because in the 50s he was like in the 50s he was a teen idol. Yeah. And after he did the first one, everybody saw him completely different. His image completely changed. And it kind of
creepy as fuck.
It kind of fucked up his career.
Yeah.
So he was reluctant at first, and they were thinking about casting Christopher Walken.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually
I want to jump to the alternate timeline to watch that version.
Mommy.
Wow.
Wow. Look at those boobs.
Yeah.
She's showering.
Put the knife down. Get out of my house.
No, Mommy.
The house is alive.
These drugs. These drugs you got over here. I want you out.
You're turning my motel into some sort of adult motel.
So Meg Tilly, who I thought was awesome.
Yeah, she did great.
She's great.
Yeah. I read something about how she couldn't watch TV growing up. There was no TVs in her house, and she was not allowed to watch TV, and did not understand the significance of Psycho and of Norman Bates. And she had made a comment on set, like, I think it was reporters and stuff that were there, and they were interviewing Perkins, and she didn't understand why it was a big deal, and it really fucking pissed him off. And the whole shoot, they just clashed. There was like, and she said it was just, she was just like, she hated it, and she had never watched the movie up until it was a live stream in 2021 that she had watched it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I liked it."
Wait, the first one or first one or
no,
second one?
The second one, the one that she's in.
Oh wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
damn, wow, that's wild. That like, okay, I understand that you don't have television in your house and your parents suck, so they won't let you watch TV. But then you become an actor.
Yeah.
Right.
Just go watch it.
Also,
well, especially after being casted in this second.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine she watched it, before shooting the second one. But I think she just didn't understand the historical significance of it.
Right.
I feel like
as
Perkins
iconic as it was
could chill out a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Okay, she doesn't know. Why are you taking that like personally? That's
right.
Weird. Maybe you do need these movies more than you're admitting.
Right.
Maybe that was just a little bit of Norman.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe
a little bit of Norman in my life. A little bit of stabbing with a knife.
But I'm glad that whenever it finally reveals that it was her and the mom that were behind all of this, my frustration with the movie did go away, because the whole time that you're watching Norman kind of go in through this descent back into his madness, she's just like, oh, you're okay, don't worry. And I'm like, you are missing all of the red flags. Like, it is impossible that you were this naive. Like, he's crazy. And then once you find out the twist, I was like,
it literally is impossible that she's this naive.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. You guys.
Well, she's like really, really feeling guilty, right? That they're fucking super like, fucking with his sanity.
Yeah. But also, but what's crazy, and I guess this is a testament to how well they made that story. It's interesting how you end up sympathizing with Norman throughout this movie, and then that causes you to forget the whole first film. Obviously you know what he is and what happened, but you end up sympathizing with him, and then you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, these people suck. However, that's a pretty good con to pull on somebody who killed your family member.
Well, the first movie, he's unaware that he's doing that. In the second movie, he's aware, and he's scared of himself. Right? Like that's why I feel like it gave the character so much more. There's more dynamic, depth. Right? There's so much more going on.
Great. Yeah, it's a great way. That's a great word. Yeah.
And he's scared for her. Right. But yeah, I thought it was interesting where obviously it's a little more of a product of the times. There's a little more gore, right, there than the original.
And it kind of comes out of nowhere too, like the first time.
Right, because the rest of the movie, it's so like laid back and like it's talking and tense and stuff, and then she gets stabbed in the fucking mouth. And you're like, whoa, brutal. Where the fuck did that come from?
That was brutal.
Also, she earned that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well, you're saying the knife in the throat, right?
Yeah.
Because there's also the teenagers that go to have sex in the basement. And, but I saw that. So Tom Holland was saying that the knife in the throat was I think he was talking about the teenagers in the basement. He's saying, like this was it was a product of the times. Things like this is what's popular now with the 80s slashers. This is kind of what they're doing. Like, we'll kind of keep up with the times. And then he said that was like a nod to what horror was, that the genre was at the time. But he said the knife in the throat was more of this kind of taking a jab at it. Like, he's like, the movie didn't need, and he's like, it didn't need that.
No,
it didn't need
not
it.
At all.
It didn't call for it. And he's saying that's kind of what these slashers are capitalizing off of. They're popular because they have this. And he's like, we'll just kind of take a little jab at that, even though we don't need this in there.
Which is funny, because to me, it doesn't come off as that. It comes off as like, oh, you were inspired by Giallo films, right?
Right. Yeah. But it was it was awesome. I mean, it really does come out of fucking left field. You do not expect that at all.
It added a lot to my experience with the movie.
Yeah,
it's one of the most impactful kills I've ever seen in a film. Honestly.
Especially
because of the
you're not
immediate
expecting
juxtaposition of like,
whoa, and you're not expecting to see that at all, especially since the other deaths are they happen, but it's not like that.
No.
Well, the first one is what's his face managing the is it Tooley?
Toomey.
No, Tooley's the old lady. Toomey. Yeah.
Yeah. NYPD.
Yeah, the knife to the face. Right.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh shit. Like, that obviously shows more than anything it does in the original.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. It's just interesting to see that happen in this setting, in this movie. And then his psychiatrist that falls on the knife.
Yeah. Oh,
that's right.
Brutal.
I forgot to even mention that. That was a great death scene.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was up there with the stranger shotgun blast. Like for like the wrong person catching it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really feel that one. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not only do you get stabbed, you also fall, and then you hit the railing and you get stabbed even more on the way down.
The worst luck. That it's crazy how that knife just perfectly squarely hit that banister.
Yeah.
It just man, it's the worst luck.
Horrible luck. What are the odds?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense.
And then so the kill at the end with the shovel, I don't know if this happened to you guys, but I immediately just started thinking of Eminem lyrics. I was like, oh yeah. Like, because he has a lot of lyrics referencing Psycho.
He does.
And Norman
he
Bates.
Really does. Yeah.
And then, the mother, you there? I love you. I never meant to hit you over the head with that shovel. And I never seen this movie. So it's like, yeah. And he has a lot of songs referencing the movies. So I was like, oh, okay.
That's cool. I was too busy being shocked that they actually showed it. Because he gets up.
You fucking clocked her hard.
Because he walks over here, like you see him get the shovel, and then I'm sitting there going like, okay, he like goes to hold it up, and I'm like, oh, they're just gonna cut.
And he just fucking starts whistling Dixie afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, that's amazing.
But I'm really curious to how they shot that, because they never cut away.
No.
It's always her.
Yeah.
It's always the shovel that's probably a soft prop of some sort.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that was a full-on real shovel. Yeah. No stunt, man. That
killed
lady took that hit.
Yeah. That's why Universal didn't want to pay him.
Her stunt person was the great Muda.
Yeah. Anthony, you literally killed one of our actresses. We can't pay you. We will let you direct the next one, though.
It was in the scene.
Yeah, that's what the scene called for.
I don't know if you caught in one of the scenes, there's a silhouette of Hitchcock. You get one of his shadows in the room.
What?
Oh, I missed that.
I did not catch that.
Did you see that? It was, there's a shot. I'm trying to remember when it was. But yeah, there's just a shadow of Hitchcock in the house. It was like a nighttime shot inside.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
I want to see that now. Psycho 2 Hitchcock cameo.
No, you idiot. Hitchcock was dead by then.
All right.
3 years, right?
There
his daughter gave them her blessing. She's like, yeah, totally fucking. They were obviously conflicted, right? If you're going to be making a sequel to a Hitchcock movie, like you have some fucking balls.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that is some major balls to do something like that, because you're facing a lot of potential backlash and you could get torn apart. But his daughter was like, fuck yeah, do it.
It's probably why the Rear Window 2 never came out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This time it's even rearer.
More window.
Yeah.
More
less
rear.
There, I just sent you guys the link to the the shadowy thing. Nobody else can see that. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll pull it up on my phone.
Pretty Hitchcockian.
Yeah. Hide him in a shadow.
Yeah. He's just behind the armoire.
He's right there.
Yeah.
That's a pretty clever. That's pretty solid.
Sick. Yeah. All right, I still got some notes for Maniac 2.
Yeah.
We really jumped over that.
Well, I like Psycho 2, I think is a solid movie. And like the only thing that would make it better is if Joe Spinell was in it.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. A fucking Norman Bates, fucking Joe Spinell team up.
God.
Yeah.
Joe Spinell plays Meg Tilly the whole time.
Yeah. I got talent, Ma. I'm going to be a great director.
That was his real mom.
Yeah.
That's
honestly,
awesome.
Like, I don't, as far as like, a good horror movie goes, I don't like that ending because it, like the ending where like it goes to him with his mom and stuff, because it's like it completely destroyed. Like, oh, so what
smoking
the fuck was
a joint.
Yeah, but I love the fact that he's like, I'm gonna end this fucking crazy ass movie with me and my mom smoking a joint. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he just keeps trying to explain to her the movie, and she just keeps interrupting him. Vinny, you got a joint? That is real mom in her real New York City apartment.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Wow.
Who looks
what's
like
crazy? She's never had an acting lesson.
Yeah.
She nailed it.
She nailed it.
She looks like every other old Italian mother. Yeah.
What a crazy career that guy had.
Yeah, and from what I understand, like he spent most of it living with his mom, like taking care of her and shit. And like,
did he really?
So like, one of the things that Joe Bob was saying on Maniac was that, like once she died, I think fairly soon after making this, like not too long after it, and like that's kind of whenever he like spun out and kind of.
Well, because he died in '89. I remember the Maniac episode we did.
Yeah, he fell in like
after his mom
split his head open or something, or was that his mom?
He knows him. He has a weird. He had a weird condition, right?
That's right. He had the blood condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he fell in a shower and and like hit his head or whatever. Then he went and sat down on his chair and died.
Yeah.
But that being said, like it's nice that there's that little moment with them at like documented for all time.
It's
like
awesome.
that's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. But he's an absolute fucking nutbag.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's awesome in everything that he's in.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like the smallest part, like he stands out.
Yeah, right. There's that guy has such an aura about him that is just really bizarre to try even pinpoint.
Yeah,
he has such, with just a shift in his facial like features, and he can like just creep you the fuck out. Like I don't think I've ever seen any other actor be able to do.
Dude, even the way it starts out. I mean, it starts out with such a fucking bang, with just like boobs in a hot tub, electrocution death. Spinell's beating off in a grindhouse. He's all sweaty and panicky.
About all that shit, honestly.
He's just beating off in a New York Mets hat. He's just
I'm gonna go make a movie, Ma.
I'm gonna be a great director.
Like here's my thing. So he's clearly a down on his luck dude, living with his mom in early 80s fucking grindhouse shithole New York.
Yeah.
How does he afford to get the can?
It's cheaper back then, dude. Maybe.
Okay, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
80s money.
Oh, right.
He's a cab driver. He can make money driving a cab.
That's true. Yeah.
That apartment was probably $5 a month.
Yeah. Dude, you could always tell the budget of a movie, because this is obviously it's super low budget.
Yeah.
But I just, especially at this time where just the Foley is just off, and the ADR, especially when right after that
peeling
movie
away in his car.
Yeah. But after that movie theater scene in the beginning, when he's in his cab and a bunch of people, a bunch of those dudes are yelling at him.
Yeah,
and just like they're yelling stuff, but their mouths are obviously not saying whatever's coming out.
Yeah.
That's what I like though about these kind of movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah,
when it's too polished, I don't know what it is. I just get
especially for that era with that quality of filmmaking. It adds a charm to what you're watching that if it was perfect, it would not it would clash so much.
Right. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because like they filmed this movie on the run through through France, like just like we got to get it. So and I'm assuming that some of the only money spent was on ADR and shit.
right. But no, I agree, because there's a certain aesthetic to that I'm starting to. The older I'm getting, the more I'm preferring. Not that I am appreciating it, I'm actually preferring it. Than bigger budget movies, and I mean, for damn sure, like, you know, today's movies.
Well, because everything's so fucking polished, and at some point it just all starts to look the same.
Yeah,
at least each one of these movies, like, even if 5 directors from the 70s all filmed on the same camera, they're all going to look different because they all have their own style. And now 5 directors can film the same thing can film different things for Amazon. You're like, I don't know which one's which.
Well, they try to get it perfect. Now, and it just it doesn't look real. You know, like it's like everything in frame is perfect. Like, oh, this is there. This is like
And it looks before
stupid.
Back before this overuse of digital shit, it was like the acceptance was it's never going to be perfect.
Right.
So let's just do whatever the fuck we can.
Yeah.
And that's really missing now.
Well, the story makes it
right.
Like, the story is what's good. If it's not, the shot is not exactly perfect, who cares? The story's good.
Yeah.
But now it's like, who cares about the story? The shot in the frame has to be perfect. It looks stupid.
Yeah. Which is weird, because your average movie watcher today will hate this movie.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And they
for sure.
Yeah. And they need the perfection. They need it to be that. And I mean, I guess I understand it to some certain extent. Like, I get it's the same thing with music, and it's something I'm sure we've shared these opinions on music as well, where something overly polished, it's like, I'd rather something fucking grimy and low budget.
There's more attitude to it.
Yeah.
And it's like the grittiness and the imperfections become a character of the film. And it adds a different it adds a different tone to the whole thing. Whereas, like, now I always struggle to put it into words, because like when I watch bad horror movies from the 80s and then watch bad horror movies today, I can't sit through them today. I just I struggle so bad with that. And it's like, none of these actors are Academy Award winning actors. I don't expect them to be,
except for Spinell.
Yeah, I was about to say,
but it's he's in a different universe. But there's something about the grittiness and the imperfections of those movies back then that allowed you to watch actors that are just going for it, not worrying about whether or not it's perfect. It just adds a different flavor. Whereas now it's like everybody seems like they're overacting.
Yeah.
And it looks perfect, but what you can tell that there's just not that much time or emphasis on telling a story. And it doesn't land, which I know there's probably a lot of people that would hear that and go, well, you're not an actor. Shut the fuck up. You don't have it. And I totally understand that. But as a viewer, it's like, there's just something that's missing about the vibe of those style films now that it's not the same. It's just not the same.
You're just so punk rock, dude.
Well, like you said about music, and I think, like, when I was younger, I like black metal, like Darkthrone, like the first handful of Darkthrone albums. They sound fucking awful. I mean, it's literally sounds like you took 2 dudes, put them in a basement. I mean, it's called basement black metal for a reason.
Literally, this is the recipe for it. Yeah.
It sounds like you took a shitty little recorder, put it on a chair in the middle of a basement, and then hit record, and they recorded the whole fucking album.
Because they did.
Yeah. And 15-year-old me was like, no, I gotta hear all of these things. It's gotta be loud. It's good. But then as I got older, I understood more so the mindset of what those dudes were in when they made that music. And then when you understand their mindset of like, oh, I'm just a bunch of kids, we don't have money, but we're gonna do it anyway, fuck it.
Right.
Then it's like the art transforms into something different, and it has a different vibe. You interpret the art in a completely different way. And the same thing can be said with the style of films, where it's like when you find out that what you just watched was just a group of people saying, we have no way of making a movie a legitimate way, but fuck it, we're just gonna fly out there and do it anyway. That's crazy. Nobody does that anymore in any fucking capacity.
No. And if you get a movie like The Last Horror Film, which it's, low budget, it's cheap, easy, sleazy, trashy, fucking chaotic fever dream, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And that's Paz. You've put it in a certain way many times in the past that I've always appreciated. It's something along those lines of just like I think you even said it the last time we had you on this podcast, where you're like, I don't like the idea of it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
You said something. I remember you saying something like that, and that resonated with me. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like if it's fucking entertaining, it's entertaining, right? That's the idea. That's why I pressed play in the first place. And that's what this movie is. And there's just something about the idea of, like I was saying, your average movie watcher not appreciating something like this bothers me a little bit. It's like, fuck, like, why can't, But
then the bummer, right? Because they won't get to experience it, and it's worth watching. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think of like a handful of friends that I have that are quote unquote movie buffs, but they are the if it's not Godfather, like it's not good. If it's not the iconic classic movie, then like, what am I doing?
It's like, God, just imagine Spinell as Godfather.
Yeah. I was trying to play this game that you put Spinell in, like, replace him with any character from any movie, and it makes that movie better.
Yeah, 100%.
It really does. Like, can you imagine like Joe Spinell in just being Forrest Gump? Like, oh my God. Just like sweating his balls off playing ping pong.
Yeah. See, this is where
started running.
Yeah. This is where in about 5 years, where guys like us are really going to enjoy AI. Because you could just fucking tell it that specifically. Shot for shot, line for line.
AI for is to put Joe Spinell into every movie.
Yeah. All right. It's Office
That's
Space,
what it was made.
But
but Joe Spinell.
Yeah.
Dude, the scene of him dancing on that stage topless.
With
the light on.
The projector that's
wild.
Rubbing his
wild. That dude. At that point, I was
I
like,
love that guy, man.
"Ooh, man, this is taking a turn."
You know what, man? He didn't give a single fuck.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm just gonna whatever I need to do to make this fucking terrifying, I'm gonna do it.
Well, it's wild because Paz, you sent me a video today. Because I had read somewhere that he was boys with Spielberg.
Right, yeah.
And Paz sent me a video of him and Spielberg watching, was it the Oscars?
What?
The year Spielberg was nominated for Jaws. They were watching it together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
awesome. They got Best Picture, but he didn't get Best Director. That was the video, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And they were yelling at the TV about it. Spinell's like, if you make the Best Picture, aren't you the best director?
Right, yeah, that makes sense. Hold on. I'd like to interject. Yeah. What about Jaws if Joe Spinell is the shark?
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's every character in Jaws.
Yeah. Except Quint. Quint is still Quint.
Yeah. Yeah. But just say it's what an interesting life, because boys with Spielberg, he was boys with Stallone. Yeah. Which gets him the role in Rocky.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting, there's a documentary there that should be made if it doesn't already exist.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking point, actually.
Yeah, I would really like to. I don't know. Maybe we could at some point one day see if Lustig would do an episode.
Dude, that'd be incredible.
Because like I feel like that guy has to have a bunch of stories and understandings of that guy that would be very interesting to hear.
Yeah. I looked up Joe Spinell documentary, and it's the only thing that comes up with his last horror film.
That's the documentary that he made. Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, dude. So talking about interesting stories, not to jump from movie to movie, but I was kind of blown away by this for a story about Anthony Perkins. So he was gay. And then he got
really,
yeah, he had only been with men up until like his late 30s. Then he got Barry Berenson, a woman, got her pregnant, and they got married.
Okay,
and she knew he was gay. He was going to some type of like therapy at the time where they thought he could become straight, and he's like he was open about this, like I want to be straight, all this stuff, right? He ends up contracting HIV. He dies of AIDS in 1992. And his wife, and they were married throughout his whole life. His wife, Barry Berenson, dies September 11th, 2001. She was on a plane that hit the Twin Towers.
Wow.
What?
How fucking wild is that?
Whoa.
Jeez. That's rough.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I thought that was
well, I'm glad that we introduced that happy knowledge.
It's fucking nuts. I couldn't believe it. So I kept coming across him dying from AIDS in the early 90s. I'm like, well, I wonder what the story is there.
Yeah.
And that I
you just wanted to find something worse. Keep digging until you find something worse.
Good job, Derek. Good job.
Yeah, there you go.
It must be worse than this.
You know what? One of his wife died in 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's fucking nuts.
There was no part of that story that was happy.
Not the Happy
podcast. No part of that story that was happy.
It started bad, and then it just got fucking worse.
It's just nuts. It's just such a crazy, one thing after the other there. That's a very like Forrest Gump type story.
Now imagine if Joe Spinell was Anthony Perkins.
Yeah. If Joe Spinell was Jenny in Forrest Gump.
Still Tom Hanks is Forrest Gump, but now Spinell is Jenny.
Right. Yeah.
He could pull. That's the scary thing is he could pull off every one of those roles.
Yeah.
No question. I don't know how it would be, but he'd pull it off.
What other movies does he star in? There has to be, because these are the only two I know of him starring. And obviously they're his movies, but did he star?
Well, like, I'm not sure about starring, but like he's in, what is it? Vigilante.
Yeah. I saw this. I'm not
he
familiar
with
the movie.
He plays like a really scumbag lawyer. I mean, he plays a gross character in that.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Trying to think what else.
Wow, he's in Cruising. How many Maniac 2s are there? Jesus. There's Maniac, last horror film, Maniac 2, Mr. Robbie, and then Maniac 2, Love to Kill.
And these are all somewhat.
I think Mr. Robbie. Mr. Robbie, I think, was a short film.
Oh, okay.
That he wanted to turn into Maniac 2, and then that somehow never happened. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's only 8 minutes.
He was fucking Joe Spinell is in Forbidden Zone. What? I do not remember him. I'm gonna have to watch Forbidden Zone again.
I don't see a Maniac. Or I see Maniac 2, but I don't see another Maniac 2.
So there's that one that's not really coming in, and then a little further down is this is terrible. This one here, Maniac 2. I don't know. Weird. He's in Sorcerer? I haven't seen Sorcerer, to be fair.
I haven't seen that.
They're actually is a it came out in 2001. It's 49 minutes, but it's called The Joe Spinell Story. Life and Career
really?
of Joe Spinell. Yeah.
Nice. So like a VH1 kind of behind the
behind the Joe
video.
Spinell.
Pop-up video.
Behind the Joe Spinell.
There's a knife. That's what's behind the Joe Spinell.
He's in Walking the Edge too. That's a good one.
Oh, okay.
That's funny. Walking the Edge and Vigilante both are Robert Forster movies.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Vigilante is awesome. Yeah, you guys should check that one out. Yeah,
nice. So I'm reading a review on Letterboxd for Last Horror Film, and I completely forgot to mention this, but this guy mentions it in his review. He goes, "Okay, what in the actual fuck was that song at the end? Was that Peter Griffin? Do you remember the song?"
Some of the music choices in that were fucking bonkers.
Depeche Mode and the Depeche Mode in it.
What? Like, okay, but why?
Yeah, I wonder if he even got like the rights to that to put in his movie.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
He's not getting permits and shit in his movie. He's like, I'll just put Depeche Mode in here.
Spinell had a very skate video mindset. He was like, we're just going to put it out, man, and they'll deal with it, I
guess. Yeah.
What are they going to do? Millennium copyright us? No.
Right.
That's crazy, man. He did 8 movies the year this came out.
That's fucking nuts.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Movie Madness, A Question of Honor, Vigilante, Night Shift, The Last Horror Film, Losing It, some other movie, One Down, Two to Go. That's crazy.
Losing It was clearly towards the end where he was just like, I'm fucking losing it. Let's make a movie.
Yeah, that is what a guy. What a guy.
Honestly, I think we should just make him the mascot of Creeperama.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, the Maniac shirt you guys did was fucking awesome with him on it.
Yeah. Too bad
looking creepy and
cared.
Sweaty as fuck. Nobody cared.
Oh god, no, that was
cared. I want one. Send me one.
Both it's crazy because James and I have talked about this at length trying to figure that out, but Maniac is the worst title I think we've ever done.
No way.
Yeah, it's wild.
That and Fulci's Zombie, but Maniac was worse. But I kind of think it comes down to we love Joe Spinell, and because he looks so fucking insane that the stuff that we put on those designs is like, it's
we really showcase how insane he looks.
Yeah. And
that's why like, no one bought it, because
when you step back, when you step back, it's like, do I really want this guy looking like
I
this on my shirt?
The town that I live in.
Like, I'll buy all your other shorts or all your other shirts with the blood and the guts everywhere, but Spinell with his eyes wide open. Just
Spinell's a lot.
Too much. It's too much. I think that is that
design was sick. That was a good design. So sick.
Yeah, we did like 4 different ones over like 2 years, and each one just bombed.
Really,
and I genuinely think that's what it is.
I think you got to do Maniac too. That's what you're. That'll do way better.
Yeah, he's got to wear the hat and like the director's cape.
Yeah. The director's cape. See, that's what most people don't understand, is that in order to be a real director, you have to have a director's cape. And Joe Spinell understood that.
Yeah.
I don't know, where just dressed like a pimp. Where did that come from?
That's how you know he's successful.
Yeah. And then he turned it into Dracula.
Yeah. I guess that's the real trick, is like, it wasn't a director's cape, it was a Dracula's cape.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, I got a Dracula's cape, gotta make a movie.
Yeah. I love the imagining him in a like throng of actual reporters. He's got the camera, he still looks like Joe Spinell, obviously, but he's wearing the fucking director's cape, and everyone's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro?
You know what? One part of the movie that I got confused when it's towards the end, before the final scene, where he's in the room with his little toy car. He's playing with his toys, and there's pictures of her all over the place. Yeah. What room is that? Where is
That's his hotel room.
That's the hotel.
Is his hotel room? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just love the idea that they're like, Carolyn, we're going to need you to just go ahead and give us everything in your archives so that we can just plaster it all over these walls.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But I can picture the moment of him talking probably to his friends or to his people of like, hey, we're going to go make this movie, and then be like, Joe, how are we going to make this movie? You don't have the money to make this movie. And then him with his New Yorkness being like, fuck it, we're gonna go do it anyway.
Hey, you got feet, don't you?
Yeah,
we can fucking run. We'll get the shots and then we'll run away.
Yeah. Go. Like, don't think, just go. Yeah. It goes back to what we were saying a minute ago. Is like it sucks to not have grown up watching those, or being our age or younger watching those movies in that era, because now I watch movies and it's like you look back to stuff like that and it's like, well, I really want to watch what people would do now.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's wild to think, because like now you can do that with your phone, and we're set up now to do more guerrilla style filmmaking than they were back then.
Yeah.
And I don't really
most people
see
just
anybody
don't. I mean,
it.
I guess technically that's what TikToks are.
Yeah, I guess
that's what it's become.
Like TikTok, like shorts and like kind of skits like Evan does.
There's definitely some people that are doing some really weird shit with it, but for the most part, I think it's gotten a lot harder with security everywhere to just guerrilla shoot stuff.
Yeah, because back then, like I don't think at that point anybody around them while they were filming, the environment that they're all,
so it's like perfect,
they don't know. But I don't think back then people would have even expected somebody to try that.
Probably not.
Right.
And whereas now everybody's filming something for social media where maybe they're thinking,
I can't help, but
maybe you're blending in and thinking that they're just doing that. I don't know.
I can't help but constantly go back to Lustig filming that fucking insane car fucking shot in Maniac Cop 2. Like, no permits. You just sent a fucking cop car off a hill and like with a person attached to it, and no one cared because they had all the cops on. They were giving them fucking Christmas hams and shit. You know what I mean? Like they bribe everybody. You just can't do that now.
No,
right?
Not like Lustig did, at least.
Right.
Yeah. That's what a wild fucking time to be making films.
Yeah, I mean that's what they all said. They were like, it was the fucking Wild West. We could do anything. You could literally do anything and probably get away with it.
Yeah.
They got away with the Savini headshot.
Yeah.
Like,
it's fucking, it's iconic.
I wonder if there's like, are there any repercussions to that when it comes out? Like, does the city see it and like, hey guys?
I've always wondered that too.
Yeah.
I guess I think it comes down to like, they can't pinpoint when it happened. So
maybe. Yeah. Either that or whoever sees it at that point probably just doesn't care.
Is what it is. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing that's cool about last horror film, like I always love movies where you see marquees in the background.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, they're everywhere.
Dude, there's so much. Right? Like that's crazy that they caught Cannibal Holocaust stuff and the promo stuff of that. Like I was like, wow, that was at Cannes. I love the idea of like the people at Cannes watching fucking Cannibal Holocaust for the first time.
Right?
What is this?
Yeah.
Like I rewatched Basket Case a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
And you see a bunch of them in there.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's just walking down grimy Times Square and you see all the porn titles and stuff.
I love that shit so. That's my favorite. That's honestly, that's a huge reason why I like the original Maniac more than last horror film, is just because it's so like it's all that grindhouse stuff in New York. It's so good.
Yeah,
so
like
good.
we said that episode. It's like the the city really adds a completely different vibe, and
it's its own character for sure.
It's its own character for.
Well, as much as we liked the remake with Elijah Wood, it's missing that.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't have the whole that stuff city just as a character.
Yeah, that stuff isn't in New York anymore. Like you go to Times Square and it's just
he shot that in
digital.
LA.
Yeah, true.
That was in downtown
that's
LA.
Right. Yeah.
But you're in Times Square now. It looks fucking. It's just
like TGI Fridays and shit.
Yeah. It's just a big fucking billboard.
Yeah. I remember the first time. Well, the only time that we went to Chicago. And when we pulled up at the venue, we parked in this like side lot that was fenced in, and we didn't get to. Well, no, we did get to walk around, but it wasn't that much. But then the next day, whenever we had a day off and we just started walking, that was my first time being in a big city.
Yeah,
and I immediately was like, "Holy shit!" The area that we were in, and I was like, "Oh, whoa! There's steam coming up out of the fucking sewer grates in the street." I was like, and I stopped and looked around, and I was like, "This looks like how New York looked in the first Ninja Turtles film."
Right.
You know, and I was like, and we were not
steam coming from the streets. It's sick.
And like, and
you don't get that in Florida. The steam comes from the pavement.
Yeah. And like it like because we were not in a good area.
No.
And so it was like, wow, like looking around, it was like, wow, dude, like there's so much character in this setting.
Yeah.
You know, and whenever you watch old footage of those films, it's like you taking those exact same scenes and even those same characters and then filming that in a city like New York the way it is now, and that is nothing.
No,
it's not the same fucking movie.
No,
and it makes me wonder.
Too polished, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Like, can you find that anymore? Like, what looks like that anymore? I don't know.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago for some of it. Yeah, but like, there's just certain elements of city life that you just can't get anymore.
Yeah,
right.
It's kind of a shame.
Like 100 porn theaters on one street. Yeah, it's not possible anymore.
Now they're just all out in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico and Arizona. And West Texas.
Right.
It's true.
Solid. Do you have Paz for the concept of sequels that shouldn't be good but are? Do you have any others in mind than these two?
Oh, I'd have to think about it.
I feel like there's a lot that we could do. Well, that's a really good concept.
Well, I mean, I think now people's opinion on it has changed, but for a long time, people hated Halloween 3.
Mm.
But,
Halloween.
I think same. Trying to think.
Well, it's kind of like the Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because we did an episode on that where that was always hated, and now it's gotten this new appreciation, and it's championed now as, you know, it's definitely well more liked than it was back then.
Oh yeah.
Well, like Halloween 3 now, I feel like a lot of people.
For sure.
But obviously, when it came out, people were kind of pissed because it wasn't what they were expecting.
Right.
I think at this point, Justin's the only one that hasn't seen Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's been avoiding it.
Oh man, it's awesome. You got to see
it. At this point, it's a meme.
At this point, it's just an inside joke between James and I. And on my deathbed, I'll still say "fuck that movie."
You're gonna be you're gonna be hopped up on morphine, and I'm slipping in Halloween 3, brother. You're going out to Halloween 3, and you're gonna be like, "Motherfucker!"
That'd be so funny.
Is that Stone?
I got to see that at Alamo Drafthouse out here.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice, that's awesome,
cool. Yeah.
Dude. It's so good. It's such a great bad movie.
It's awesome. No,
it really is awesome.
Yeah, that song gets stuck in your fucking head for months, but
Yeah, I haven't even seen it.
Days till Halloween. Oh yeah, it's the season has begun. We're only like 100 and something days to Halloween.
Yeah. It's going to be in everybody's story that I scroll through in about a week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I want to go and watch all of Spinell's filmography and find out what shit am I missing that this guy made.
Well, if he did 8 in the same year as this.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah. Vigilante is definitely a strong recommend.
Okay. Cool.
I think we'll do that, and whatever the Edge one was. That sounds weird.
Oh, Walking the Edge.
Walking the Edge.
Yeah. Fucking edgelord.
Yeah.
What are these goons?
So not to switch the topic too much, but Paz, you have just done the your second double feature.
Oh yeah,
screening. So how'd that go?
It was good.
Yeah.
I took a little bit more of a risk with the titles I picked.
Yeah.
And I think
what were they again?
Humanoids from the Deep, which I thought was the safer pick of the two, because it's definitely more of a movie.
Yeah,
right.
You know, the second one is a little bit, I guess not as much of a movie, but I love it. It's awesome. It's called Sting of Death. All shot in South Florida.
Oh, really?
Nice.
In the 60s, all shot in the Everglades.
Ooh, okay.
But it's like you really have to appreciate, these types of movies. And I think that was the problem. Like, not the problem, but because afterwards I felt like the next day I filtered out on Letterboxd by review date, and I could just see all the people that were there, and it was mixed. You know, like some people loved it, and then there were also a bunch of what a piece of shit. You know, like so.
Well, dude, listen to this. It's because it's the one from 1966, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A deformed man working for a marine biologist takes revenge on the people that mock him by experimenting with a deadly jellyfish.
Fuck yeah.
I'd watch that.
I'm into that. Yeah. I'm into
the trailer is amazing. Like, you guys
really?
Oh yeah. It's so sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
Maybe
it's just the dirtbags like us from Florida that have a bigger appreciation. You're showing guys in Calgary that movie.
Well, what's funny? Well, like a lot of people did like it, but a lot of people also that I don't know personally that I saw some reviews that were a little bit mixed. But I had one guy who was at the first one, the first double feature I did, but couldn't make it to the second one. And I didn't know why, but I just saw that he hadn't bought a ticket. And a couple days afterwards, he's like, oh man, had I known, he's like, I just heard you showed the Sting of Death. Had I known, I totally would have skipped my wife's birthday.
Loyal.
Wow.
That's loyal.
That's funny.
So like a lot of people, like some people that were aware of it, like got a kick out of it. Like, I can't believe I'm seeing this on a big screen, you know?
Yeah.
And then there were also some people who had never heard of it that loved it. And then some people who never heard of it that fucking hated it. So just different reaction to the first one, where it seemed like almost 95% of people loved both of them.
What was the first one that you did again?
First I did Cemetery Man and Seventh Curse.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's solid.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to hear that so many people loved Cemetery Man, because that's one of my all-time favorites. But
I still haven't seen that.
Obviously, it's fucking bonkers.
Yeah,
at the same time. So that's really cool that it's that went over well.
Well, and like also, like a guy that works for me was saying when I decided to do Humanoids from the Deep, because it's not I mean, it's of its time, and it's not very politically correct, these days. And he's like, "Should we do this?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm like, we're here to show cool movies, not hold people's hands if they know what to expect when they come to these things."
Sure.
But yeah, I think over time, people kind of, I don't know, you grow an audience and they kind of either they're into it or they're not,
Yeah.
You just reminded me of Jim Brewer in Half Baked when he's smoking the joint and they're all coughing and he takes the joint. Like, you sure I should do this, man? And so now you're gearing up for you're doing another screening at a drive-in.
Oh yeah, we're still trying to work out the details of that. It's not 100% yet, but we're trying to do something there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully that works because that'd be dope.
Yeah. I mean, we will do something. It's just we're not 100% yet on the date or when.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I like us just vaguely talking about it. You guys should be excited. It's fucking cool. We all know it. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is awesome.
If you're in Canada, you'd love it.
Yeah, if you're in Canada, you're going to want to go to this.
Yeah.
Maybe even if you're not in Canada, get a fucking passport.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And are you working on your next double feature? Do you have in mind what that'll be? I know it's further down the line.
Yeah, I have a list and I kind of have an idea. Like this one because it was the summer and I did 2, like aquatic movies.
Right.
And the next one would probably be in the fall. And so I have an idea of the 2, but we'll see. It's also, what's that?
You had a bigger turnout the second time around, right? You had more people.
And what was interesting is, like an asshole, I didn't even consider that when I scheduled that weekend, that it was the first weekend of Stampede.
Which is huge in Calgary.
Right. So, which I wasn't even thinking about that.
So, are you guys familiar with the Stampede?
No.
Okay. So Stampede is it's like the biggest fucking party in Canada. Not just Calgary and fucking Canada. It's
huge. People come from all over.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What's it for?
I think it's just like
just a party,
an annual summer festival. It's like a festival. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
in America, there's always got to be a reason for it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, think of like Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's that, but in Calgary, and it's. I think is it a week long, the Stampede?
Yeah, I think it's about like a week or 10 days or something. I don't know. I stay away from.
Yeah, it's a big. Right. Yeah, but it's wild. You didn't know that it was. That week
didn't even think of it. Just because like I don't care about it.
Right.
But yeah, so the idea would be the next one would be in the fall. So I kind of have an idea of what to pick, but it's also about finding who has the theatrical rights, and that's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes too.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah.
I like the idea though that nobody knows the movies until they show up at the theater. Right. Like it's a secret double feature. Like he's not advertising what they are. They show up. Do they know what the second movie is when they're
watching before? Don't know anything.
Okay. So they don't know that you're watching the first. You have no idea what's coming next.
So far, the only hints they get are before the first movie starts, there's 2 trailers. So of those 2 trailers, you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be kind of similar to these 2.
Right.
And then after the movie, there's an intermission, and then there's 2 more trailers, and then the second movie starts. So
gotcha.
Got it.
You kind of get a hint from the trailers, but
you're just picking out trailers that are similar to the movies that they're.
For these 2, I did Killer Crocodile, Slithis, Horror at Party Beach, and what was the 4th one I did? I'm blanking, but it was all aquatic,
That's awesome.
Killer Crocodile was fucking awesome. We watched that at your house however many months ago. That was great.
Yeah. Well, I had a customer tell me like right after the following day of going to the screening, he had never heard or seen Killer Crocodile before. And just from the trailers, like the next day he went and found it to watch it.
Hell yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. That's so awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really glad that is catching on and expanding, because it's so cool to see and hear about people that are still finding out, you know, new movies, no matter what era they're from.
Right.
That way.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously it's a great marketing vehicle for your store, right? Like, and I guess we should say, like, you have a physical media store in Calgary. And I mean, we don't have to get into the financials of it, but like, are you even making money on those screenings, or is it more so like, this is helping to get the name out?
A little bit. I mean, I'm not, you know, retiring early.
He just bought a jet, Derek. What do you think?
He bought his own.
But I mean, it's not a lot of money, that's for sure.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. But it's getting the name out there at least, and it's also a cool community thing to do, right?
Well, the whole idea is the reason, and people were questioning when I announced the first one, like, why would you not tell what the movies are?
Right.
Like, you'll get more people if they know what they are. And I'm like, well,
nope.
I might get nobody if they know what they are. You know what I mean? Because who's going to want to come see Sting of Death? Like 90% of people don't even know what it is. So the whole idea is to expose people to some movies that they would never have seen.
Yeah. And you're creating an experience.
Right. It's that whole secret club thing like that. I love that shit. Like,
awesome.
I'm way more likely to go to something I don't know what's going to happen. Just to find out what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Right. And then that's what was interesting, is because I was keeping track of, like, I had a spreadsheet of all the people that bought tickets to the first one, and then those that bought to the second one, and just cross-referencing to see where they intersect. And it was like almost half of the people that came to this one weren't at the first one.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool to see, like, over time
it'll spread.
Will they spread even more? Or the people that didn't come to the second one because they had their wife's birthday, they'll come. You know what I mean? So
gonna have to cut those right the fuck out.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see after 4 or 5 of them what happens.
Right.
How many people have gotten divorced?
Yeah, that story's hilarious.
Yeah, that's killer.
You would have got that guy if you had advertised things. It'd be just him and you.
Just him. It was funny because he said that, and he's like, no, but seriously, he's like, I'll never be able to see that in a movie theater again. He's like, that'll never happen.
And what's that process like of being able to show movies like that? Are you having to get a license for that?
Yeah, well, there's some companies that own a bunch of them, so then you could kind of look through their list and see what they have. Or like when you want to pick something specific, that's when it's a pain in the ass, and
you have to really search.
You have to search who has it, and then sometimes it's just getting passed along from person to person. You email someone's like, oh no, that we had it, and then that guy died, so now I went back to this guy. You're like, crazy.
It's fucking maddening.
Is it an actual reel that you're trying to get when you're contacting these people? Okay, got it. It's a Blu-ray that you're playing at the theater.
It's something they call it a DCP, which is like the universal format for movie theaters.
Okay.
So like now a digital, file basically.
Gotcha.
Right.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So you're just getting the rights to be able to
basically just
play
the rights to play it.
Yeah.
You could play whatever, and then you get in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like if I don't get in trouble,
the fuck out of it, and just fucking.
Well, I wouldn't get in trouble, but the movie theater would get in trouble.
Right.
And then they
because they're making money off of it.
Right. Yeah.
So like basically, me personally, they would say like, well, you can't buy anything from us anymore. Like, they don't care about that. But the theater where I hosted that, they would screw them over. And that
for sure. Yeah. Are you always going to do it at the same theater?
So far, yeah. Like, we have a good relationship there. And
yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Cool. What theater is it?
It's called the Globe Cinemas.
Is that in downtown Calgary?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a good standard theater name.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick. Yeah. They play all. They only play, like old school movies.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude, we've got a sick the Tampa. I think it's just called the Tampa Theater. It's so sick. I wish we could put stuff on there. It's one of those it's one of the old school movie palaces where like everything's all super ornate and shit.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous, but I don't know.
We have a couple of them out here that I'm learning about. There's one that in a couple weeks that it's playing some remastered version of Terminator 2.
Ooh,
that's remastered version?
I
saw it advertised as that.
It's so remastered that he steps out of the screen and starts hunting you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I saw remastered. I don't know.
When was the last time you guys saw part 3?
Terminator? I think in theaters.
3, yeah.
In theaters.
It's been a while.
That was the same for me. And I remember I did not like it. But now, like, I go back and watch movies that I didn't like back then.
Yeah.
And I like them now for the reasons that I didn't like them. You know? So like maybe like a month ago, I decided like, oh, it's time to watch Terminator 3 again. And I watch it. It still fucking blows. It's so bad.
The only good part of it is the very end because you finally get to see the bombs go off.
Exactly.
Everything else, I was like, what is this? Honestly, my favorite is still Salvation. Well, not my favorite. My favorite is T2. But of course, it's a perfect movie. But like, I like Salvation way more than 3, just because it's
you finally get to see the fucking war.
Yeah, you get like, and they were setting it up so that the whole thing would loop. I'm still never going to be over it. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Mick, look, say what you want about Mick G. He has some hits, he has some misses, but like he wanted to make it. He had a fucking vision. He wanted to do 3 movies. At the end of the last one in the future, fucking they go to the future or they go to the past, and then you could just watch the whole thing. The whole fucking thing. So that's all I want.
I'm reading it right now. I was way off. So first of all, it's the first Terminator, not Terminator 2. And it's the 40th anniversary 4K restoration that's being shown.
Oh, sick.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
You're super awesome. It's just straight up bad Arnold. Then he's going to come out the theater. Your ass.
Yeah. I might try to go see that.
I mean, you should just to save the world.
I saw T2 first when I was a kid, like when it came out.
Yeah, me too.
6, and I obsessively watched it for years. And even though it's called Terminator 2, I didn't even think about, wait a minute, what's the one that came before this? So I didn't see that until I was like maybe 11 or 12. And I watched it and I was like, okay, I'm going to go watch T2 again. And it's like, now I love it. You know,
the first one's a fucking horror movie.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah. And it's like, but like, I remember like having that experience of like watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I just want this to be in or to be done so I could go back to watch it. Like it just seared itself into my brain and was such an influential movie.
Yeah.
Like that there are not many perfect movies, but that to me is it's perfect.
I still remember how terrified I was as a kid watching Arnold cut his arm off.
Yeah.
Just pull the skin off his arm.
Yeah, dude. It's still
fucking
up.
Dude, and the explosion scene where she's up against the fence at the playground. Like that
it comes out of nowhere. Especially as a kid, you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Am I gonna get lit on fire at a fucking playground?
Yeah.
Or dude that got lit up and he's about to, isn't he like on a mine of some sort? He's
he's got the dead man switch.
Just his breathing as he's like getting close. That shit would fucking gross. Yeah, that movie's sick.
So good.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
That makes sense. Cool. We end the episode on some T2 conversation.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Solid.